Welcome back, Panther fam. I am David Brown here with Ryan Graham,
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber,
Hello.
and this is State of Atlanta.
Tim, it's been a while since you've had a beer on the podcast.
No, it has. It was like actually a couple weeks ago.
You've just been like
Straight up.
liquor drinking it up.
Uh-huh.
That's all right.
It's okay, Ryan. You
We
gave
have
me
3 handles of vodka, so gotta consume.
I can take some of that off the hands for you, man.
I got news for you. They don't go bad.
I know. That's a good thing, right?
They do tend to evaporate really quickly in my house, though. Like,
Yeah, evaporate. That's the but all the alcohol stays.
Gotta have it climate controlled, right? You know,
it just
I don't
gets
know what
stronger.
it is. Like, I get a handle of vodka, and then go to bed and wake up the next morning, and like half of it's gone.
You're like, where'd it go? How did it even evaporate?
No idea.
I left the cap off again.
Why do I have a headache and it's 10:30 a.m.? Yeah. So, Ryan, you rolled your eyes at me when I started. What did I do wrong this time?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
He's drunk. Don't worry about it.
I have no idea what you did wrong. I mean, I'm sure you did something wrong, but I don't know what it was.
I'm sure I did too. Well, awesome. Not a lot to talk about this week. We only have one game that's happened since we last come on here, but we got a conference basketball win.
Woo!
Against Arkansas State.
One SBC.
Well, hey, 1 point win is still a win.
A W is a W.
Right.
Are we on that? Is that where we're at?
What? Right. Hey, the basketball team. Yeah, we're good. We're a win is a win. We'll take.
Hey,
it
we're 1-0 right now. All right.
Only half the conference can say that.
That's exactly right.
We're in the top half of the conference.
We're in the
right
top
now.
half of the conference. That's exactly right.
So if we just keep winning, we'll stay in the top half of the conference.
That is how it
this
works. That is how it works.
See, this is super easy.
We'll remain in the top half, and then at some point we'll be the top quarter, and at some point we'll just be the top, and everyone else can go F themselves.
Ryan likes being the top.
I like
he's
what?
top.
He likes
being
control, be top.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. No,
more of a power bottom.
How was the game? Did you guys go or?
No, it was actually we were hanging out together, but we were not at the game. My daughter's birthday party was.
Big.
Even though I'm not saying that I explicitly put the game on the calendar with the exact times the game would be going on, and that it was a home game, and that a birthday party got scheduled
on top of that
at the same time as that. I'm not saying that happened, but
it did.
It just might have happened.
And I made Ryan and I made Ryan come with me. I'm like, hey, your kid's getting invited to my kid's birthday party. So
you guys told me I could leave, but by then the game was already like halfway over.
We tracked the score. We were watching it. We pulled it up every once in a while.
Yeah.
Being those dads at a kid's birthday party.
Yeah. I missed the Georgia game too. So
oof. I mean, was it a game really?
I would say, did I miss anything though? Yeah, that was the thing is I got home before it was over and was just like,
holy,
and I'm not going to even pull it up. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, it's nuts.
We might have left in the third quarter, late in the third. It was almost 63.
You guys were down there?
Yeah, we went to the Orange Bowl. It was good times.
Yeah, that's cool.
I hadn't been to that stadium. I call it Jarabi Stadium, but then it was Pro Player something, whatever. Now it's Hard Rock Stadium. They did a nice job in the renovation. And it makes me sit there and think, that thing is from the 80s and it's still standing.
Well, it looked a lot like Jacksonville.
They just built
I think it's the color. I think it's the aqua seating.
It is the aqua seating. Built a roof, right? A canopy.
Well, yeah. They built it. They put what the Hartsfield Airport did. They they just built big, huge canopies around the entire thing.
They added like a race course too, and a bunch of other stuff that's around. There's like tennis courts. They're basically making it like a multi-use area. But I mean, I hadn't been there since a kid, so it was kind of cool to go back into that stadium. Game was fun. Florida State fans were weird because for some reason before it started, they're like, "It's gonna be a good game." I'm like, "No, it's not."
You lost 26 players.
Like, no.
Well, as the resident non-Georgia fan, I'm going to get us back onto a little Georgia State action.
So we won.
Wait, before we do that, though, because transfer portal news is generic, and Florida State got hit really hard, too. But even my family, who are big Georgia fans, were like, man, this transfer portal really messed this game up. Like, and in regards to Florida State, just not. I mean, they lost 2 quarterbacks. They lost.
Did you agree?
All kinds of players, and it was just, what?
I mean,
Did you agree with them?
Well, I did agree with him, but I just think you change the timing on the transfer portal. You just say, oh, after bowl season is when our eligibility window pops up. I don't know why we moved it before
so early
end of the season. It doesn't make any sense because bowl games are part of the season as far as I'm concerned. So does it make sense that you can just say I'm going to leave and not go? I think NFL players, it makes a lot of sense for them to not play and leave, whatever. But like if you're just going to go to another NCAA, college football team, wait till after the bowl season. It's not that hard.
And they can still just not play if they really determine to do so. If they ask
their coach real nice, yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, they can just not play.
Right? They could just sit down. They could just sit.
I agree. I think the portal should not open until the new year. Because typically the New Year's Eve, the New Year's games, most people are not going to jump ship. But I guess the Florida State was people were just bitter about not getting the game they wanted to get, or not getting the playoffs, so they tucked tail and ran away. But portal should minimum not open up until the end of
January
the year.
2nd.
You turn the bowl games into the an NFL like pro game type deal, right?
Yeah, your senior day or your pro game,
where it's just like, okay, well, like all the good players sit out because they don't want to get injured and they're going to move on or they're going to do whatever, and then everyone else plays, but it's like not a real good indicator of what your team is capable of doing.
Unless you're Georgia State.
It's just a weird game.
Unless you're Georgia
State. And you just dip down into that running back a well, and you pull out a Freddie Brock nobody's ever heard of.
Shows up,
and you're just like, look, out there, fresh meat for the portal. Here we go.
On me. Freddie Brock's gonna leave us too. It's gonna be, oh my god, that would just be the worst.
Yeah, right after we post this episode, it'll be like coming out that he's left for.
He's only played for 1 game total, and he's going to Georgia.
Grainger's like, hey, the guys on this podcast talked about you transferring.
Manifested it.
He was good. Speaking of Grainger, people are gonna hear this afterwards, and we're gonna play some time games with that. But he was good. He was real honest. I felt like there wasn't like coach speak in a way that we sometimes get from players and coaches and all that stuff. And I specifically asked some tough questions.
You went for the tough jugular.
And I don't feel like he dodged them too much. Like I think he just answered the questions the way he thought the answer was. Yeah. Even though I asked a couple of questions that were, a little tough.
Yeah, I forgive me if I don't know what he said. I was just so taken aback that you had a question to ask that I was like just in disbelief. I blacked out. I came back to my senses and I was like, well, I don't even know what just happened here. But,
someone should have just broke out and said, what the F happened with Old Dominion? Like, let's break this down.
He talked about it.
He talked a little bit about Old Dominion, though.
But yeah, that was probably the most Coach Speak was in his talk.
He's not wrong. And I feel like he took blame on himself and on the, on behalf of the team. And I don't think he answered that in a dishonest way. I don't think he went around. He basically was like, it's us.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
And surprisingly, which game he selected as his favorite.
Stay tuned to find out in part 2 of this week's episode.
Outside of the bowl games, because that's where he's a rock star and just literally just puts the team on his back and just makes us win, which is insane.
Yep.
Yeah, so look for the interview part 2 coming out.
We can discuss it in more depth in last call.
We can. We will.
Just another tease.
So you guys didn't watch Hoops Ball, right? Or you had it on, but not really.
Yeah, not enough to actually you give some any kind of commentary about it. Not that I ever remember anything, anyways. But this is like I said last week, the Sun Belt's not really that great this year in basketball. It appears Arkansas State, I think, was ranked right ahead of us in the net rankings. They still are actually coming out of the game. There are still a few spots ahead of us. They didn't move at all. We moved up a couple of spots. So I don't know. The home team won.
But we were ahead by like by quite a bit,
11,
a number of times, and then they kind of kept closing the gap, and then we kept kind of taking off a little bit, and then I don't know, and then it ended very close.
18-point lead. Holy shit.
That's what I'm saying. We kept on like creating a gap and then losing it, and then creating it and then losing it.
I mean, there was a lot of talk about free throws. Apparently, if they made one, they would have tied or won or something. But I don't know. They still shot 72%. Free throws actually won us the game. We shot 82%. Are you kidding me?
Hey,
that's crazy.
That's insane for a Georgia State basketball.
Should be
team.
100.
Any Georgia State basketball
should be 100.
Should be 100. Should be 100. But
I don't understand. I don't like NBA is not 100 either. So obviously I'm wrong. But like, it should be 100.
82 is pretty good for us.
82 is pretty good for anyone.
Yeah. That's why we won the game. We kept them at bay with free throws.
Yeah.
Well, so we won our first game, and then our next opponent, Southern Miss, out there, they lost their game. Man, they gave TDS, they gave Trash Down South an actual win. So I hope we just
that should be a win for us, right?
It actually. So I decided to track the predicted win percentage from ESPN week by week, and yeah, we went from only having a 47.9% chance of winning to a 52.2%. So after the week 1 games, ESPN now thinks has flipped this. It's the only game that flipped. They flipped us from losing this game to winning this game, and having them just lose, and they lost badly. They got like the snot beat out of them by TDS. So we cannot lose this game on Thursday.
No. Southern Miss is like getting some lumps moving to the Sun Belt. I feel like they're just getting beaten up on, like football, basketball, everywhere.
We're just welcoming them back to the conference, right?
It's just crazy to me that like that's one of the teams I was more excited about. Like, right, is like Marshall and Southern Miss, because your everyday fan has heard of those teams.
Yeah, everybody knows it's Brett Favre's school.
Everyone's heard of those teams. If you're sort of like even a casual football fan, you've heard those teams mentioned. I mean, Marshall has a whole movie made out of them, but I mean, it's a rough one, but it is what it is. Knowing the opponents is a big deal, right? Like that's one of the things that we've always talked about is that like, well, who's going to show up against Old Dominion? Because who gives a shit, right? Nobody cares. You didn't grow up watching Old Dominion beat anybody or play anybody, so who cares? But like Marshall and Southern Miss, you sort of did hear about them. There was so those are the ones we were excited about. Southern Miss is getting their ass handed to them.
Yeah, they even lost to us last year in football when we only had 4 wins.
Football was rough. Basketball's rough.
Yeah. So, but no, this is a must-win game. We got to win. We got to win. So, I'll be watching.
When is that? This weekend?
Thursday.
8 this weekend is TDS.
Thursday.
No, this weekend is South Alabama.
Oh, okay. Away.
Yeah, away, and then the following week we get TDS at home on the Saturday. Yeah, and that one we have like a 83.6% chance of winning. It says
it's never high enough.
Now, if we just can win it, that'd be great.
Okay,
it needs to be 120% chance of winning, and then I'll feel better.
Yeah, percentages mean absolute crap when you're actually playing the game, but I like that at least right now we're in the driver's seat of that one. But then at the same time, when we go down, we go down there like the following week, and we only have a 61% chance of winning. So, but still, a win's a win. A win's a win.
The big question is JMU or Jimmy Madison ever going to lose, or are they just going to keep winning everything?
Well, and so that's like the opposite of the Southern Miss problem, right? Yeah. Is that Jimmy Madison just seems to be winning at everything except for their bowl game.
The one that really no one ever heard of before.
Except for their bowl game, though, right? I mean, they lost that handily.
They didn't just lose that; they got slaughtered in that game.
Ha ha.
Right? Could not have happened to a better fan base.
I don't, the basketball. I mean, the only way they're going to lose is maybe someone gets injured. They look good.
They're going to lose against us when they play us.
They're going to get injured against us. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they're going to lose against us.
They're going to lose to us twice.
In fact, you heard it here first, everyone.
Yeah, it actually only gives us an 8% chance of winning up there.
8%.
Yeah,
is that like the lowest of the season? It's got to be pretty close. Other than BYU,
it's the lowest by far. I think at Appy, I think I'm looking at it right now. At Appy is a 14% chance of winning. So I didn't know that they were supposed to be all that great this year, but yeah. But it's down a little bit. It was, yeah.
Well, and they're always good at everything.
It's
even
really
basketball.
annoying.
Like people are like, oh, they're not a basketball team, but they do all right.
Yeah, they built up. I mean, they were in mid-low in the conference, and over the last couple of years, they've been excelling. So
also, that black and yellow is fire.
Just go be a Steelers fan.
I mean, it's a good color combination. What do you want?
I like blue and white. I like blue and white. It's nice.
I like blue and white.
I like blue and white too, but I think black and yellow is pretty good.
No, it's ugly.
It's got a whole song.
I'm not a fan of yellow in general. I'm not a fan of anything that uses yellow. Obviously, black is our third color now. Maybe our primary color now.
It's also the colors on the anarcho-capitalist flag.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, if we're just gonna go throw that out there,
we're throwing out all kinds of facts tonight.
Boom.
So yeah, Southern Miss USA this weekend. That's another team that I think they lost their game, but they're still.
David doesn't think this is a sound strategy, but just win, baby.
Just win. Just win.
David makes fun of that strategy. He thinks that's a bad strategy.
We broke that news earlier. You just have to win the games and you're in first, second, third, or fourth.
Ryan, just win is way bad for podcasting because you just kind of stop the conversation. Like, what are we going to do?
Stop the conversation. We're still talking.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Awesome. Because I'm awesome.
Because you're awesome. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, boy. It stops the conversation about scheduling, which, again, no one wants to hear about except for you and maybe Tim.
And a couple other people outside of this
there's not that many people who want to do that. But, you know,
I don't.
We don't have that many listeners either.
That ESPN guy says scheduling is top tier quality content.
He said that is a quick way to end a segment.
And also he talks about uniforms. He said as well, which is I want to say that you're talking about black and gold colors is the same thing as talking about uniforms. So your content's horrible too.
I mean, I think it's.
I didn't say my content was great. I just said yours was terrible.
I think it's a hilarious thing to say, considering all the conversations about the CFP are about scheduling, who you played, who you didn't play, when you played them. Like everything is revolving around the schedule.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, you didn't play any strong teams, so that's why you got excluded, or
you lost in the last 3 games. Like,
Yeah. See, Tim's on board.
Scheduling. It's where it's at.
Join the wagon, Ryan. Come on.
No, but it wouldn't matter if they just won. Ryan, who cares who those last 3 games are if you just beat them?
Oof.
Just win.
It's true.
Who cares? Who cares who they are? You just got to beat them.
Or win and go to the Orange Bowl.
Well, no, you gotta beat Bama in the SEC championship. Is what you got to do.
I'm not talking about Georgia. I'm talking about Florida State.
Oh,
they just won.
Yeah, they would be claiming their national title.
That would have been. Oof, I couldn't handle another one of those.
What is it?
They wouldn't have. They wouldn't have made it out of the first round. What are you talking about?
Of course not. But
they would have got demolished by any of those 4 teams.
I am shocked. I am shocked that Michigan and Washington are playing for the national championship.
That's great. I love it. I love that Bama lost.
I was actually rooting for Bama, and I don't know why. I guess just because I've grown up in the South, and just You're
just a big SEC fan.
No, yeah, you know me, huge SEC fan. I don't know. I just kind of I like watching cheating. Yeah, and exactly. I don't support cheating. Sorry, Ethan. But then Texas, I was rooting for. I got a buddy of mine who I'm really again. I root for teams based off of friends that went to school at different places, and so I got a friend who's a good diehard Texas fan, and so I was cheering them on. But like the Atlanta State goes, whatever team I cheer for loses. So.
Is that why the Falcons keep losing?
She might have she might be upset.
Holy shit! We just figured that out too.
Yeah, you're gonna get the bird lady's gonna end up just shooting me in the head or something.
Wait, what did we figure out? I'm sorry, I was talking over David and did not hear what he said.
Why the Falcons lose?
Why?
David cheer for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I talked about that before when it was when USC was playing Texas in the national championship with the Reggie Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart game.
No, we're too young for that.
I did not want USC to win, so I went to the bar with my roommate and we cheered on USC that entire game. And as soon as they lost, we celebrated, and people in the bar were like, "What the hell's going on?" Because we had the table right in front of the big huge projector, and we were just cheering on USC the entire game. And when they lost, we cheered even louder. We were like, "What the hell's wrong with you guys? You've been cheering for them the entire time." Like, can't stand Pete Carroll, can't stand USC, but we know that whatever team we cheer for loses, so we cheered for the team we wanted to lose.
You just pass that Atlanta curse right on.
Exactly.
Damn, so you should have been cheering for the Bears this past Sunday, huh?
Yeah, let's not talk about Sunday.
The Bears.
That was rough.
Yeah, that was very rough. I don't actually have anything else. This is going to be a super short episode, but we can definitely talk
it's super short, but we got the interview to tack on to it, and that went really well. It was 30 minutes. So I think we're in good shape. We're good to go.
I like it a lot too. Excellent. So we're going to head over to Last Call. You can find it on our Patreon page, patreon.com/State of Atlanta. It is free of charge, but comes out a little delayed for our non-members. If you do join for like $5 a month, access to that, early access to that, access to the live streams, access to the private group chat, which is the most fun, and free drinks at our tailgates when we get sponsors. So please consider doing that. Check it out, patreon.com/State of Atlanta. Thanks for listening. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.